Hello and welcome to the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Shauna.
And it's fall now. It is our second favorite F word, and that means we are finally in spooky season. So we are planning our show topics accordingly. And I wanted to talk today about one of my favorite spooky little characters. All things creepy, just plain weird. Nothing could be weirder than what we like to call cryptids. So we're here today to bring you the spooky, scary, sometimes silly vibes of cryptids. And if you don't necessarily know what a cryptid is really just a pseudoscience in folklore animal that no one can really prove exists
or doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't prove that it doesn't exist, does it? God?
Does it exist? Is God a cryptid? God, by
Maybe.
Those meanings,
we're just becoming offensive immediately.
Is Jesus a cryptid?
But if you ask someone who studies cryptids, cryptozoology is the study of creatures whose existence is disputed or unproven.
That's an actual study? That's a thing you can study?
Sort of. Not necessarily accepted by the scientific community, but they put zoology on the end of that thing.
If you put zoology on the end of anything, then it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Listen, we're playing fast and loose with science now these days. I think we can count it.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the creepy, spooky, sometimes funny characters that we see existing within it. And the reason that I really wanted to talk about this is I am actually about to take a trip into a part of the United States that actually has quite a bit of spooky, scary characters, and that is the Appalachian Mountains.
Where's that? I feel like I don't know anything about the United States. By New York?
You did go to an Arizona school, so that checks out.
Go Sun Devils!
No, not even that. Just the Arizona public school
That's
system.
Fair. Also that.
But the Appalachian Mountain Trail it's actually where the Hunger Games was set in the fake world, but it is the mountains on the East Coast. So it goes all the way from...
I was kind of close.
I want to say it goes all the way up from Georgia to New York, but I'm going to upstate New York. And one of the scariest characters that I've ever heard of that are technically a cryptid, kind of a witch thing, are skinwalkers. And I feel like skinwalkers have really kind of had their moment recently, but I really just wanted to kind of dive into our favorite folklore monsters.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. And you know more about it than I do, so you've already been teaching me things. Look, where the Appalachian Mountains are and what cryptozoology is.
Yeah, there we go. There you go.
I'm the more you know. So, yeah.
Who needs public schools?
So, cryptids are really the perfect blend of folklore and modern media. So, for example, one of the most famous ones is the Loch Ness Monster, with century-old origins, but they're also in memes and tourist ads. Chupacabra started in the 1990s in Puerto Rico, but is also in South Park. So there's definitely a lot of crossover with pop culture. And in a lot of horror movies. I know there's a Mothman horror movie too, I believe, right?
Yeah. Well, there's that movie with Richard Gere as well. And what's her name? The redhead from Will and Grace.
Deborah Messing.
Yeah, the Deborah Messing. Yeah, the Mothman Prophecies. Weird movie. Real strange movie.
Is it actually about the Mothman?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I would say, if you want a weird time, I watched it actually kind of really hungover, and it was a weird movie to go into. I don't know if I'd say watch it under those conditions, but we have seen cryptids throughout a lot of, popular stories. Like you mentioned, we have Nessie, which has been such a popular folk tale or legend all over the world. Really, we've seen these different characters pop up. And of course, anytime there is folklore, like we talked about with our romantasy, it really becomes this like retelling. And how do we re-look at it? I think most people in America would say that their first hearing of a cryptid was ultimately like Bigfoot. So Shauna, when do you think you first heard of Bigfoot?
Oh, God. I don't know. I guess I must have been a little kid. I've never like believed in Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. It's one of those things you just always know that they're probably not real, but it could be. It could be. I think Bigfoot is probably the most well-known, I think, cryptid. Just people like saying that they're spotting him, and he pops up in TV ads and in AI YouTube videos and like different brands of clothes and stuff. But I'm going to say probably when I was a little kid. What about you?
Okay. I think, yeah, I want to say it was probably like an E-Bombs world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where people would talk about it, or like driving through the United States, there'd be like these weird like Bigfoot crossing, like always those tiny little stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that do I think that like Bigfoot exists today? Maybe not. But do I think that there was something at some point that like was like a Bigfoot or like a Loch Ness Monster? Maybe.
The Loch Ness Monster seems a little more like likely, like dinosaur, reptilian. But yeah, I mean, they both could have existed, but it's not like if they've existed since, like the 1800s, they're probably dead by now, unless there's like a little family of big feet.
I mean, think about a freaking alligator, man. Those things don't die.
That's true. It could be the same Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, what if it's just Bigfoot? Like a Scottish alligator? You know?
Is a jackalope a cryptid? Because that's probably the first, like, living in Arizona. There's this urban legend that there's this creature called a jackalope, which is a mix between like a jackrabbit and an antelope. So it's essentially just a jackrabbit with antlers. But it's like growing up in Arizona, everybody's like, ooh, the jackalope.
Okay, a jackalope is a mythical American creature, which is best described as a tall tale and not a true cryptid. Okay. And yeah, it's basically a legend that started in the 1930s because a taxidermist brother duo created them by attaching deer antlers to a jackrabbit carcass.
Yes.
I love that, like, it's just a taxidermy's like weird creation.
They started it like 100 years ago, but if you go to like random gas station, like gift shops in Arizona, you can buy a stuffed jackalope.
That is so funny. Like that it's just now I think of like all those weird like little rat like taxidermies that are doing like weird things. Like in
and someday
like
we're gonna be like,
years,
is that a cryptid?
It were like little mouse doing house chores, like a real thing. Like
he's got like a little hat and cane. He existed.
So we're unpacking exactly where these cryptid stories are coming from. And I think that they used to really travel through almost like ghost stories around a campfire. But with the internet and popular media really bringing these into the zeitgeist and popular culture, we talked a little bit about the Mothman prophecy. We saw a lot of different cryptids within our childhood cartoons, like a Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
We also had the Loch Ness Monster in Assassin's Creed. We had the Mothman in Fallout 76.
We also had the Loch Ness Monster in Twilight. Nessie.
Renesmee. You named my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster.
It's my favorite version of Nessie right there. That one was the most scary looking too.
But ultimately, it has evolved past just movies and TV, right? So we actually see the internet has fully embraced one we know and have talked about a little bit here. We have the Mothman, who is basically Tumblr's cryptid boyfriend. Did you ever see these back in the Tumblr days?
Oh, yeah. Like, he's kind of doable.
Yeah.
Like they
He's
kind of made him sexy. Yeah. Sexy Mothman.
Sexy Mothman. Look at Tumblr fan art. You will not be disappointed.
No.
But you can, he's reimagined as the shy, awkward, and dateable character, which is just so funny.
He's shy guy. He's got glowing eyeballs. He's just a cat little boy.
And ultimately, it's perfect meme material, right? And so we've seen a lot of these as we get AI better as well. We've started to see these pop-ups, I guess, before even AI, like Photoshop. Do you remember the Fresno Nightcrawlers?
No, what's that?
They were... They were basically just a weird walking pair of pants found in Fresno.
Oh my God, it's like the SpongeBob episode where his pants get up and walk away. Like,
yes, exactly. And so, it becomes a little bit of tricking the mind, and they're online, they're weird, and they're mysterious. I almost feel like cryptids are the perfect character for that eerie TikTok music where it's like a little bit like, ooh, spooky, and you put any score over anything you're saying, and it just seems like it's actually the scariest thing in the world.
I think that cryptids kind of paved the way for creepypasta too on the internet. So kind of that 4chan like monsters that people would make up, like Slenderman, and then convince everybody that they're real. I mean, essentially those are kind of modern day cryptids, right? Like you can't prove that they're true, but you can't prove that it's not true. And it integrated its way into society somehow.
Yeah, and I guess under the current definition that we're operating under, Slenderman does not count. But I do think that he really is kind of within that world as well, where you really do see that.
Yeah, it's definitely cryptid adjacent, and it wouldn't surprise me if like 100 years from now people were like, oh my God, do you think the Slender Man is real? And then he kind of becomes his own cryptid. That video game is so scary. So fucking scary.
Yeah, really, right? Something eerie, dude. Something where you're really, on edge thinking about the existence of them.
You mentioned AI too, and I think that's just going to make it more prevalent. Like there's already this stupid series that my husband watches of like Bigfoot is in the forest and he's just messing with campers.
Is he Australian?
I don't remember if he's Australian. I seem to think that they're super like cringe, so I tried to not watch them.
They're so dumb. Yeah, well, I was going to laugh because one of my coworkers was just showing me a video, and it's like, I think it's like it's like an ape, not Bigfoot, but he's Australian, and he's just doing like random Mr. Beast-like videos.
Yeah, that might be it then. He's just like, yo, I'm going to go visit this guy's campsite. It's all brain rot, and I hate it.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, they're on the alt-right pipeline.
Right?
Like, how is this what men see?
So much of the internet, it just gets you right to the alt-right pipeline, man. You're just like, oh, cool. Now I'm a fascist. Sick.
I love it.
Cool.
So, we're going to talk about some of the zaniest, silliest little cryptids you ever did hear of right after this break. So, Shauna, I want to quiz you, and I want to continue this education of lovely, silly cryptid creatures.
Okay, you're quizzing me. Should I put my notes away? Okay. I'm ready.
No, so first we're going to start with a little education on some of the weirdest cryptids we have heard from. We've really talked about the Fresno Nightcrawler. So tall, white, pajama pant-looking beings caught on grainy security cams. Basically, the fashion models of the cryptids. We also have the ahuls, which are a giant bat ape creature that come from Indonesia and are said to scream, "Ahu!" That's it. That's all they do.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
The Mongolian death worm, who is a desert-dwelling worm said to spit acid and electricity like the metal band of cryptids. That sounds like a Pokemon to me. That's like a dirt electric type Pokemon.
Well, maybe that's where they got it from.
And then the Brosno dragon, a Russian lake monster that's basically Nessie's cousin, but with like a little more attitude.
Yeah, drinks vodka rather than
Guinness.
We have the Hopkinsville goblins, which are little alien / gremlin looking creatures. I like how they couldn't decide when they were cryptozoology.
Yeah.
That terrorized a Kentucky farmhouse in the 1950s.
Just one house. This guy
Just one
got
house.
famous for just, or they, I guess there's more than one. Or a little crew. little gang.
Little alien gremlin creatures, you know? And then we have the lizard man of Scape or Swamp, which is South Carolina's reptile humanoid blamed for attacking cars. Just didn't like drivers. Had some road rage.
A lot of people do that when like their team wins or loses, like a sporting match, and they just go and like set cars on fire. Maybe he's just a sports fan.
Yeah. Whoever was in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about sports balls.
No.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers. They're just in both the Carolinas.
There you go.
Think. He's a Panthers fan.
Just one of the Carolinas.
One of the Carolinas. No one come for us. The infield horror is a 3-legged grayish beast with red, glowing eyes who was spotted in Illinois in the 70s. Might have just been a guy on acid. It was in the 70s.
3-legged.
Maybe he was, maybe he was, well and down.
He had too much fun the night before.
Good for him. The Beast of Bray Road, a Wisconsin werewolf dog man cryptid, sometimes called America's Werewolf. And then finally, the Owl Man, who is the British cousin of Mothman, but he's a little less famous and a little sulkier. He's a little depressed.
He's a little more British.
A little more British.
I do think it's really interesting when these myths popped up, like where they are on different sides of the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you really go into how do these two different cultures completely separated by oceans, inability to travel to each other. They both have these like folklores or myths or creatures that they're all seeing. Like you have Bigfoot and the Yeti. You had the Owl Man. And the Mothman, of course, as we got into media and where we are today on social media, like a lot of the time it's just like doing it for the bit and trolling and keeping those things going.
Yeah. I like that they're kept going, though. It's cool that, like, I don't know, cryptids have survived this long, even if they're not real. Just like the folklore and the tale of it. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, if you had to pick just one cryptid to hang out with, for a day, who are you picking? Okay.
I already decided that I'm hanging out with the Ahul.
The Ahul?
Because I just want to scream into the night in Indonesia with a giant bait. Yeah, a bait, actually, and a bat ape.
A bait.
A bait. That sounds amazing. Sign me up just to roam the streets and scream. That's it.
I love it. I think I'm going the goblins, Like,
Ooh.
What if we just, like, got a little mischievous and we messed up one Kentucky farmhouse, like, in the scale of, like, chaotic evil?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty little. They might be cute.
They could probably be super cute. I think that you and I would have fun hanging with both of those for the night.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of just sounds like us just after a night at the club, just screaming and destroying farmhouses, like.
Yeah.
It's just a silly girly time.
Yeah. I was actually talking with my coworker about this, where I was like, okay, inverse of this question. If you feel like you had to fight a cryptid, who are you picking because you think like you could win?
Oh God, which one's the tiniest? I'm not fighting something huge or scary like the Jersey Devil or some shit.
Okay. I mean, I feel like a goblin's pretty little.
I think I could like drop kick a goblin. So
Okay.
probably the Hopkinsville goblins.
I think I'm going Fresno Nightcrawler, because what do you mean I'm fighting a pair of pants? I do that every day when I get dressed.
No, you're right. I would love to fist fight just a sentient pair of pants in the street.
Like what could it do? Like try to choke me out?
It could strangle you. It could like wrap its fabric legs around you and choke you
but
out.
like, maybe I'd get like the strength of like a woman saving her child and just like rip them. Like, what are these pants made of?
Do they have teeth? Because, yeah, like a goblin could bite me, I guess. And if they're like knee height, I don't want a goblin taking out my kneecaps. I'm going to fight the pair of pants with you.
Okay. If they're high-waisted, we're screwed.
Yeah, it depends on what size they are, what style they are. If they're a polyester
a low-rise
blend.
Nightcrawler.
If they're Levi's, those things are durable.
Yeah, true. Very
we need
true.
A pair of pajama pants from Shein. Like they're gonna be very very low quality fabric, easily tearable. Yeah. Attack of the Shein pajama pants.
Yeah, they may just fall apart from looking at them.
Throw them in a washing machine to kill them. Just disintegrate.
You never really know. So we think we're winning against the pair of pants. Any others that you're like, I think I could maybe win? Because I do have one more.
Oh gosh, let's see here. I'm not gonna beat a worm. Okay, wait. Is the Mongolian death worm worm-sized? Or is it like the worms in Dune?
I pictured it as like a Midgard worm. From like Akatar, like giant.
So I'm not beating that. Because, if it's like a worm, if it's like a worm-sized worm, then I can beat that. But if it's, like a Dune worm or something, then or a Trimmer's worm, no, I'm not beating that.
Yeah, you don't think you're beating a acid-spitting, electric, death-spitting worm?
Like I said, if it's like 3 inches long, then yeah, I could take that out. I could take out like a worm, step on that thing, throw a book at it. So
my ex-boyfriends are quaking.
I can beat a little tiny 3-incher. I've been beating those for the last 20 years.
I like how you immediately were like, yeah, it's a small worm that people were making up.
I don't know the facts here. All it says in my notes is worm. It doesn't say giant worm.
Got it. Cryptozoologists, listen up.
Mm-hmm. If it's worm-sized, then I'm beating the Mongolian death worm. If it's crazy sized, then it's beating me. I think that's fair.
Okay. This may be a little bit like hubris of me, but I think that I could beat Bigfoot. Like Bigfoot just seems a little big dumb,
Yeah, but he's probably got that like dummy strength like of Mice and Men where he accidentally like snaps the girl's neck. Just keep looking at the flowers, Lenny. That's what he's big and dumb and like he'll break your neck.
I'd love that you went of Mice and Men, of all of those things. See, I just feel like I could outsmart the Bigfoot and somehow win. But you're right. It probably is like that like chimp strength almost.
Yeah, it'll rip your face off, man. Didn't you watch
like that one woman?
Or that actual real life woman from Oprah.
Yeah, the chimp crazy, that lady.
Oh, I didn't watch that. I just remember a lady from Oprah back in the day, and she didn't have a face because a chimp tore it off. Wonder how she's doing.
Probably not well.
If you're listening, faceless chimp attack lady, hope you're doing well.
Hope you're well. Hope you don't run into Bigfoot.
Hope you didn't find any more, chimps.
Yeah. Okay. I think that you're probably right, and I should stay away from any sort of Bigfoot.
Yeah, please don't fight Bigfoot. I'm pretty fond of you.
Yeah, and aside from fighting Bigfoot, we wanted to talk about our personal favorites, and we're going to do that right after the break. So, Shauna, tell our listeners about your favorite cryptids.
So one of my favorite cryptids is the chupacabra, aka the goat sucker. Mm-hmm. The chupacabra was first reported in Puerto Rico in 1995. I didn't realize that it was that recent. After a wave of livestock deaths where goats were drained of blood through puncture wounds. The term chupacabra comes from Spanish chupar, to suck, and cabra, goat. So literally sucking off goats. I mean, not sucking off goats, but sucking goats dry.
Suck goats.
Well, kind of reminds me of Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Bringing it back.
We're bringing it back. Every episode has to have one mention. So early reports of the chupacabra are that its reptilian, greenish skin with spines down its back and glowing red eyes. Later reports kind of describe it more as like a hairless dog-like creature, which is kind of how I like see it in my head, as kind of like a combination scaly, skinny dog with like glowing eyes. In pop culture, it has appeared in The X-Files in the episode El Mundo Grilla, in Scooby-Doo and the Monsters of Mexico, in South Park, and in a ton of documentaries. So it is one of the most globalized modern cryptids.
I remember the X-Files episode, and that thing freaked me out.
Did it? Well, how did they I didn't see that episode. Did it look kind of like a dog creature thing?
Yeah, it looked dog reptilian-like thing. But yeah, I remember like living in Texas and being like, Mexico's on the border. They're coming.
I think that's in Arizona too. Like it's up like with the jackalope, you hear about the chupacabra, and another one that I'll mention here next after yours, but another one that we hear about in Arizona. So I love the chupacabra. I think that it would make a good pet if you could like tame it. You could like do your like bidding and like scare your enemies.
You'd have to lose a few goats, but
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's a few goat sacrifices to your modern day witch? Let's go.
To old Troopy, you know? So my favorite one, and if you've never heard of this one, I would highly recommend that you Google the artwork of this, is the Loveland, Ohio Frogman. Just in Loveland,
I've never heard of
Ohio.
This, so I'm very excited. Just Google Loveland, Ohio.
Loveland, Ohio. Scary people are there, man.
The city of Loveland, Ohio.
So it first became known in 1955 when a businessman claimed to see 3 frog-like men under a bridge in Loveland, Ohio. Another sighting in 1972 came from a police officer who said he saw a creature with leathery skin and a frog's face. And this
My brothers in Christ, these are just people on drugs.
This is why we need body cams on everyone. I know it was the 70s, but they didn't exist yet. But, you know, we could have proved
we could have seen the frogman.
Yeah. And so they are described as 3 to 4 feet tall, frog-like. Yeah, I know. Big frog. Big frog.
Or tiny man.
Yeah. Frog-like humanoid leathery skin. In some accounts, it held a wand or spark-emitting stick.
They just saw ugly children with sparklers. Honestly. These are just ugly, leathery children on the 4th of July with sparklers. And they're like, frog people.
Yep, it has to be it. It has to be it. So pop culture references, really, I mean, it is local legend in Ohio. It has inspired short films, t-shirts, and even a musical. Hot damn, it's the Loveland Frog. And it's internet culture. Like, internet culture loves it because it's so weird. It's so regionally specific, and it's only in one part of Ohio. Like,
I love that.
Most of these are like spread out. They're in regions,
countries,
ultimately. But, you know, they just got weird frog people in Loveland. So check it out.
Ugly children in Loveland, Ohio. Sorry to any listeners randomly in Loveland. My next favorite cryptid. So technically folklore, but she's often treated as a cryptid / ghost figure, is La Llorona. Have you ever heard of her before?
Yes.
Also known as...
I've seen the movie, too.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie, The Weeping Woman. My sister-in-law, Alyssa, told me that her nana and thought that, like, so Andrew's family used to tell them about La Llorona when they were little to keep them in line. So the legend originates in Mexico, traced back to colonial-era stories mixing indigenous and Spanish influences. So it's a pretty basic tale. A woman drowns her children, often after the betrayal of a lover, and then wanders weeping, searching for them. She's said to snatch children who wander at night. So it was kind of like a cautionary tale for children. If you stay out past after the lights go off, then La Llorona is gonna, where are me hijos?
Come murder you, like she did her babies.
Yes. She is described as a pale, ghostly woman in white, wailing or crying near rivers and lakes. So some pop culture references. She's a central figure in Latin American folklore. She's featured in The Curse of La Llorona, which is part of the Conjuring universe. I didn't know that.
Yes, that was the movie I was talking about.
Good movie?
Yeah, it's a decent horror movie.
Maybe I'll give that a whirl. She's referenced in Coco from 2017 through the song La Llorona and appears in countless regional ghost stories and TV episodes.
This is a really interesting one, I think, as well. You know, I mentioned, like, you see these through lines of characters throughout different regions, times, folklore.
Yeah.
This is like the Spanish version of a banshee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And so
it's a shrieking woman.
You know, is it like this one specifically is very interesting because it is like a woman in grief, like almost. The banshee, I can't remember if it is that she kills her children.
I don't remember either. All I know about her is that she shrieks, which, you know, another like cryptid that I could hang out with, just a shrieking, wailing woman. Get us with the ahul and we are having a good night.
We're just ahooling together.
We're just ahooling and wailing. We see horse ahul into the night.
Yeah, so I do think this one is a lot more like a woman who cries and is evil, right?
Yeah, and definitely like something that parents tell their kids to kind of keep them in line, where a lot of the other cryptids are just kind of like stories that are kind of told around campfires. This one's more like, you better come home or La Llorona is going to snatch you up. So, but I still like to counter.
Yes. And one of my we talked about it a little bit. So I'm going to the Appalachian Mountains. And if you have ever ended up on Appalachia TikTok, it is...
I can't say I have.
Oh, it's so good. Don't watch it at night. It is very, very creepy. And in the Appalachian Mountains, it is known that you have three rules. Never respond to a whistle that you hear with a whistle.
Oh, okay.
If you hear someone call your name, no, you didn't. Don't acknowledge it.
What if you're out with like a friend and you get separated?
You're going to die. And the third is if you hear, like, this one's fucked up, but if you hear a child crying, don't run towards it.
Oh, and I would never do that anyway.
They have these myths to protect people from what we call today skinwalkers.
Oof.
And so skinwalkers are from Navajo legend, and they are technically like a witch more so than like a cryptid, but a lot of people think of skinwalkers as cryptids, so we're snaking them in. And it is rooted in Navajo traditions. It is a term that describes a type of harmful witch who can shapeshift into animals. This is considered sacred and taboo. Navajo people are often very reluctant to discuss this tradition within it. It has started to move into pop culture as we've seen it. Non-native audiences have really picked it up through UFOs, conspiracies, and it is, you know, these creatures that can take the form of individuals. It's different than like a mimic who can become another person.
So in the Marvel universe, there's these like aliens called the Skrulls, and they can shapeshift to look like humans and look like other people. And we find out that one of our characters that we've known for like dozens of movies is actually been a Skrull the whole time. I bet you anything that's where they got it from is skinwalkers.
Oh. Yeah, skinwalkers and mimics. They're often different. A lot of the time people will put those two together. So mimics are like copies of you or other people, and you know they can exist and do dark things and steal your soul and all of those things.
Oh, cool.
Same thing with skinwalkers. That is ultimately like where the lore and oral tradition comes from. But a lot of the time in the like folklore of them, they take on deer quite a bit as well, and you know are said to have a weird eerie feeling when you hear them. And one thing about skinwalkers, you know, I told the Appalachian Trail where it's like if you acknowledge it, it becomes more intense and it follows you and it tries to capture you.
It's like you're inviting it in.
Yes. And so definitely if you want a little spooky, scary vibes, look up skinwalkers on TikTok. I'm sure Instagram has them as well. But very, very creepy stories of people who've always lived in that Appalachia Trail, and weird things have happened. It is also said that like a skinwalker could copy your dog and use it to get into your house and things
screwed.
like that. Yeah, and so it is really just kind of these spooky things that are seen haunting in the woods. So pop culture references where we've seen skinwalkers, X-Files, of course, in the episode Shapes. We've seen them in the show. Well, we've seen them kind of talked about in Skinwalker Ranch, which is a History Channel show. They're kind of exploring like, do skinwalkers exist?
That before, but I didn't ever realize what it was about.
It's like serious. They're trying to prove either that aliens are there, that, you know, like skinwalkers exist. Like they're kind of just investigating it from a scientific point of view. But Felipe and I would always watch it. And literally, it is some of the funniest stuff ever because they're trying to make it very dramatic, but it's literally a science experiment. So like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
But really, where I first heard about skinwalkers was actually in True Blood. I don't know if you ever watched True Blood.
I watched the first season and then I couldn't really get into it.
Yeah, well, they have shifters within it where people can turn into animals of any animal that they see. But a skinwalker in True Blood is actually someone who can take the form of another human.
Okay. So skin shifting.
Yeah, ultimately. And so we've seen it a lot. I mean, these traditions have lasted for forever. I mean, you know, in Navajo oral traditions, things weren't written down, but it has really been, you know, some of the earliest folklore that we had in the Americas because of Native Americans. So,
and that's why you always need a secret word with your best friends so you can make sure they're not a skinwalker.
That's why you need your safe word, your skinwalker safe word.
You and I need to think of one, but we probably shouldn't do it, you know, on the podcast where the skinwalkers are listening.
Where they can hear us. They can hear us. When I go there in a few days, I'm going to make all of our friends have the same word.
I think that's fair.
Yep.
We already mentioned this one, so I won't take too much time on it. But another popular cryptid is, of course, the Mothman. First sighted in 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when two couples reported seeing a giant flying man with glowing red eyes. Lots of glowing red eyes and cryptids. Sightings continued until 1967 when the Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. Locals tied the disaster to the Mothman as a warning or an omen. So the Mothman is about 6 to 7 feet tall, wings that are 10 feet wide, and often said to fly without flapping its wings. So our guy just hovers. And of course, like you mentioned earlier, he's kind of the internet's cryptid boyfriend. So he didn't mean to kill all those people. He's just a shy guy. We saw him in the Mothman Prophecies book, 1975, and the film of 2002, the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, and frequent internet cryptid memes. He also appears in Fallout 76, the video game. So, the Mothman.
Yeah, the Mothman is like somehow weirdly a prophetic character too, where he really kind of is not just like this giant bug, but he also is warning humans. So he's a really good guy, you know?
Yeah, you see him and you're like, oh, some shit's about to go down. Scary thing is about to happen. My internet boyfriend is here.
And, you know, we couldn't end this episode without talking about the one, the only Renesmee. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk a little bit about the Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie.
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 Are you trying to do a Scottish accent?
Yes.
Scottish? Nessie? Scottish? Nessie?
Yeah.
Let's do Australian.
Like, let us know if we sound,
Loch Ness Monster.
Don't worry, we are not quitting our day jobs, and we're just sticking with our normal voices here. But the first written reference of the Loch Ness Monster goes back to 565 AD in the life of Saint Columba. and where the saint supposedly drove away a water beast. Modern fame really came back within 1933 when a couple reported seeing an enormous animal crossing the road into the loch. I love that Nessie has, evolved, and she is now both able to walk on land. She's a girl, of course.
Oh, of course she's a girl.
And live in a lake.
And I feel like she's gentle and kind.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just chilling. She just wants to be in her lake. Maybe occasionally walk across the road. And it really, in 1933, it came back up. But in 1934, the surgeon's photograph, which was later revealed as a hoax, really cemented Nessie within pop culture.
Yeah, it's like that famous grainy one of her in the lake in the distance.
Yeah. Yeah,
just
I love that it's just like a little kid's like play dinosaur just sticking out. It
looks pretty realistic. Listen, if that's in the 1930s, you're like, that is absolutely
I'm
real.
believing that.
I'm believing that. That is the AI of the 1930s.
There you go. Totally.
That's tricking some boomers.
Yeah. It's described as a long neck, humped-backed, often compared to a plesiosaur, and size ranged from 20 to 40 feet. So there may even be multiple Nessies. You never know. But we've seen it all over. It's in Scooby-Doo. It's in The Simpsons. It's in South Park. It's even in Pokemon.
Yeah, Lapras.
Yep, is loosely inspired by Nessie. And honestly, Scotland thrives from this myth and cryptid, just like, podunk towns in Loveland, Ohio.
That is so cool. Like tourist culture there. I'm sure they sell so many t-shirts that say like, I saw the Loch Ness Monster in such and such town or whatever. Is the town Loch Ness the name of the town, or is it just the lake? I don't know.
I think it's in the lake. And even recently, I mean, this is a meme. I haven't actually researched this, but El Chapo's daughter reportedly has taken up the hunt to find Nessie and prove that they exist. So
why not?
I love it.
Someone's got to do it.
Finally doing some good. A Nepo
Someone's
baby
do it.
I can get behind.
She can go on our Nepo baby rescue mobiles.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
In the day.
And, we by no means have covered all the cryptids out there. And if you feel like we missed some of the funniest cryptids or some of the scariest cryptids, we would truly love to hear your favorites. Maybe you have a favorite Mothman thirst trap. I would love to see that.
I would love to see that. A Tumblr, like, kind of furry Mothman fan art. Send it my way. Yeah.
She wants a 5 o'clock shadow on her Mothman. So if you guys could make that happen. Ooh.
Mothman abs.
Okay, but could you really look past like a little furry body? I guess it's kind of like if you were like picturing one of the Bat Boys, but just furry. But it would have a moth head.
I picture his body is kind of like smooth fur, and then he has like the furry ruffle collar thing around his neck. But then, definitely a moth head. But he's kind of like just man from neck down, but just kind of covered in like moth fur.
Okay. So slightly hairy. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Make that happen, listeners. There you go.
And maybe he has coins in his ass crack, like in the statue. Everyone puts like coins in the Mothman statue's butt crack. So maybe he's going to be sexy and have little money in his bum.
Ooh.
What more do you want from a man?
It's hard to ask for more. The Mothman will deliver. He's also prophetic. He's thinking ahead.
He's thinking ahead.
He's seeing ahead.
He's emo. He can fly. He's got butt cheek money.
He's got a following. He's got a following on the Tumblr, and those girls, truly no one can stop them.
True.
So, Shauna, before we keep fantasizing about the Mothman, where can our listeners find you on social media?
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, on Instagram and Threads at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad.
And you can find me, Olivia, on Instagram at Livy Maries, LIVIMARIEZ, and look us up online at our website, popculture-junkie.com. You can find our podcast on all platforms there, all of our social media links, blog posts, the Pop Culture Junkie store, and more. We have some cool shirts on there, so definitely check them out. And while you're listening, please take a second to follow, subscribe, rate, and review the show. And of course, we really appreciate you guys who have joined the Patreon. It helps us bring you more great episodes just like this one. If you would like to join, you can find us at patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast. And you will get a sneak peek on our episodes. We'll give you a super special shout out. If you like Shauna and I being weird, you actually get to hear all the weird stuff we do on the breaks. I think we're funniest then, unfortunately. But
I
agree. And come back next week for another hit of pop culture.
The Pop Culture Junkie podcast is produced by Jeff Markin and Cheryl Lightfoot for the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.
So entertain